And then you make a video about it, talking about all the terrible,
externalize it.
all the terrible stereotypes that Glaucomflecken comes up with.
Ukulele apology now. Now.
I'm sorry.
How to be patient.
And welcome back to How to Be Patient. Today, we are not going to make you wait for the jokes because we're going to start right now. We have Dr.
Who's
Will
here?
Flanary, or Glaucomflecken, joining us today, and also Margaret, who's usually a guest here, or I guess co-host. She's on the podcast most days.
I'm
Talk
so
about that
excited to be here on your comedy psychiatry podcast. This is great.
Yeah, so I mean, we're dipping our toes into the comedy section today. So before we have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about, so I'm really curious about Glaucomflecken in general, and I also want to hear more about your escapades and antics in becoming a producer and really mentor of other content creators in the medical comedy space. But before we get into that, we have to start with our icebreaker, because we always have to introduce everyone with an icebreaker. So since the theme today is comedy based, and a lot of us have made people laugh both in the hospital and outside of the hospital, we're going to start with a time when you did not make someone laugh. So
Oh my God.
the icebreaker for today is, what is a time where you made a joke either in the clinic or outside that totally landed flat and you just had to kind of eat it or sit with it? And it's okay if you think it's funny, because mine I think is funny.
Man, it's hard because I am so outrageously funny.
He's like, this is a problem I don't have.
At all times. It's just so difficult for me. I think probably so when I was an intern, I was at a small community hospital, and I had to do like nights in the ICU by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had was some mythical fellow who was like somewhere. Like I was told
they live in the vents. I don't know where they are.
I'm not sure where they live.
Is
But
it an opto fellow?
it was no, I don't know what kind of fellow it was. I assume they had some kind of training in critical care medicine. But
You just
anyway,
went by
here
the
I
fellow.
was. Here I was as a burgeoning ophthalmologist, intern, who had no interest in critical care medicine. I was like manning this like 30-bed ICU, like SICU, MICU together, like by myself at night. But I do remember in the morning after my night shift, my first night shift was the most crotchety old attending. He'd been there for like 40 years. Like everyone was kind of scared of him. And so we were on rounds, and he had already gotten mad at me a couple times, I think, because I remember specifically he just laid into me for not checking Winter's formula on a patient at in the middle of the night when I'm just trying to make sure people don't die. And so we were already kind of butting heads, and I was like on no sleep, right? I'm just like, get me through rounds. This is when I had to like work all night and then stay for rounds the next day. And so it's like 3 hours of rounding after you've been up all night. It's miserable. And I remember, I don't exactly remember like what the scenario was, but on rounds in this ICU, they also had the remote monitoring system. You know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, in some places, somebody in some place somewhere in the world is like watching
Fellow,
these.
probably.
Where? I don't know exactly.
The fellow.
And the fellow, but who knows? What country are they in? Who knows? I don't know. Canada? Maybe. But anyway, there were, so like I would go in the middle of the night to a room, and then sometimes you'd hear like the voice of God, like over you, like saying like, check a lactate. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Winter's formula, you moron.
Yeah, right. You're gonna get pimped on this. You need to do that. So this kind of thing just happens overnight, and then we're in like toward the end of rounds, and the attending, this old angry attending, was like asked me like, "Did you do this?" And I just looked right at him. I was like, "No, the voice of God told me not to," or something like that. So like the voice of God didn't tell me to do that. And And that was meant as a joke. And he did not find that funny, that I was, making fun of the idea that we have this remote monitoring system and that how unsafe it is. So I felt it did kind of like sit there for a bit. And
everyone got to chew on it for a second.
Yeah, and then he just went right back to yelling at me. So it's like I learned pretty quickly not to play with that attending. Some people just don't.
That's nice. It's like a good yelling sandwich. He's yelling at you. You guys both have space for the video monitoring system, and then he goes back to yelling at you.
That was a wild month.
Video ghost.
Oh my God, that month. Last time I spent a significant amount of time in the ICU, and man, I was so like out of my mind that month, like with just how hard it was. That was the only hard month I had an intern year. Like I was like researching like single, in the Matrix they eat the slop,
Uh-huh.
and you're right. It's like it has all the nutrients. I was actually researching like, does that exist in real life?
Sounds right.
Like, is there a website I could like go and order this like nutrient dense slop that's all I would have to consume all month? That this month on ICU was just making me go out of my mind.
I think that exists in Silicon Valley. It's called Soylent or something. The tech bros drink it.
That's what I found. I learned about Soylent and I bought it, and people thought I was absolutely crazy. Like I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't say that word on a psychiatry podcast, but whatever.
No, it's okay.
It's fine. Anyway,
everyone gets a free C word.
Lie about eyeballs later.
It's a free C word.
For your public beef, this is what we'll start the drama here.
But anyway, to wrap it up, I did try Soylent. I bought it. I still have the container that you would mix it all up in, but the sulfur content was way too much. It was awful. So anyway, I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, Margaret, what have you got to follow up Soylent?
I mean, not a lot. I do want to say my brother did ICU fellowship, and during that time, so did Preston's sister. But during that time, he was already like a CrossFit guy, but I think the ICU changed him so much that he started being like, food is about energy. It's not about having a good time. And it's like the rise of his like broccoli rice and like boiled ass chicken.
What is flavor but a distraction?
It's like, that's weak. It's weak if you need flavor. I'm also just laughing because we did the two nutrition episodes, the last two episodes before we like filmed this one. So I'm laughing at this. But
I got grilled yesterday on having like soulless diets.
Was that yesterday?
By a nutritional psychiatrist.
Oh, yeah, really? Oh man.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your diet, Preston?
It's ultra
tune
processed.
in for episodes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like the first 4 episodes. So when we started the podcast, I assumed that I was very nervous for it. I was like, how's Preston's audience going to react to me? Preston is known for being funny. I like write sentimental things online, not about healthcare. So like I was very nervous going into it, and then actually felt okay doing the episodes. And I thought, I'm outing you, Preston. I thought Preston would have no nerves about doing podcasts because he's like used to speaking to camera. But because Preston was nervous, I feel like the first 3 episodes, whenever I made a joke, it was just like, yeah. And
because he was thinking about the next thing he was going to say.
Yeah.
Exactly. He wasn't listening to you.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'll die then. But
Lady Glaucomflecken totally understands that dynamic. It's like,
but now,
because you're becoming like an old married couple, right? A little bit, right? You're getting to know each other well and your tendencies, and
and we're getting comfortable enough that I'm not just like thinking about the next thing to say. Because I'll listen to the podcast back and I'm like, dang, that was a good zinger by Margaret.
Yeah,
and then
it's always like, I'm just like 2 to 3 months later, he's like, hey,
silence,
that was
and I'm
funny.
like, anyways.
And then there's this like New York Times article all my friends hate to see me use from like 2015. That's like a random, not even that real study, but it's like, do men hate funny women? And every time Preston doesn't laugh at a joke and we get a comment, or he like sends me something 2 months later, I just send that screenshot like, why men hate funny women? So that's mine. I still did think my stuff was funny. So
let's unpack that, Preston. Why do you hate funny women?
More to come.
I'm intimidated by them, I think. Yeah, last time we were unpacking why I like candy in the morning, and it's apparently I didn't get enough of mommy's milk.
Okay,
so
I think that was
probably it plays a role too in why I hate funny women.
How much of your podcast is unpacking? Like there's a lot of unpacking going on.
It's
You know,
unpacking and cursing. We have not had a non-explicit episode yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well, sometimes they're non-explicit, and then when I'm like reading the show credits at the end, I just yell "fuck" to make sure that we keep in line.
Okay, Preston, what about you?
Okay, so I was proud of this joke, but it did not land. It was during my radiology rotation when I was a fourth year. I was in like the neurorads reading room because I was like, oh, psychiatry's the brain, so I can like look at pictures of the brain, like perfect. And like the neuroradiologists are they're really fun, like quirky people. Like they would bring like all of their tech stuff with them to the reading room. Like one guy had like those like Best Buy coffee cups that would like it's like on a magnetic charging pad, and then the cup will like self stir. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like kind of the environment of the room. It's really dark, and then this guy walks in. He kind of looked like one of them, like a genius from Apple. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of look with the long ponytail and the beard and everything. And a guy leans over, and he's like, he is one of the best like nasopharyngeal readers that we have in this whole department. You know, he like he knows the fascial layers of the oropharynx better than anyone here. And they were like calling him in to collaborate with ENT to look at an abscess. And I was like, wow, I guess he really is the throat goat.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna fucking say that.
And it was like a pin. I said it way too
Oh my
loud.
God.
It was like a pin drop. And the radiologist next to me was like,
Just
back to dictating.
Fucking psychiatrist in here again.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That was if there was anybody at your level in there besides you would have gotten like a spit take from things like just oh my God. Like, you know, I'm surprised
he's not a
throat
goat,
goat.
he's a human.
Surprised the throat goat didn't give you a spit take, but anyway.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of Glaucomflecken's role as a mentor and a producer, and we're also going to go through some different comedy bits. So,
Sweet.
bye. So, I know that you Will, or Dr. Glaucomflecken.
Call me Will, please.
Okay, familiarly Will. So,
Dr. Will.
1 year later, after you're like,
Dr. Will
producing our
III.
podcast.
You were commenting on a post I had about how medical comedy is going stale and dead, and I think we both realized that. I think I was kind of just highlighting a lot of the
everything
tropes
I
that
do.
have started by you and then have been.
Preston, can you hit some of your points you made?
When you
during
made that, did you have me in mind? Because honestly, it felt like it was like, man, I see this guy everywhere. I'm so sick of this. Honestly,
No, I
what was your
didn't,
frame of
honestly.
reference there?
Like it was just like between Reddit and Instagram and TikTok, like it's just like the same joke over again. So like, because you kind of started the whole like ortho being a bro has been around, but like the whole like bone bro thing, you know, as a person or a character, that was like really distilled by you. And then now it's just everywhere. And I'm like, oh,
I know.
you know. And so I think that it was really just like you had planted all of these seeds and they had germinated, and then everyone was just kind of replanting them everywhere. And I'm like seeing the same crop everywhere I go. So I think it was that. And so in a way, it's like I couldn't get away from you, but it's not, it's not your actual
No, I
content.
totally, but hearing you say that, and you went through like all the different stereotypes, like nephrology, cardiology. I do feel like that is the one that I am like 90% responsible for. Like the cardiology versus nephrology. That conflict has been simmering for like a long time, but as far as like the recognition by the general public,
You put the spotlight on it.
yeah, right. So, but there are some things that even I have never made a joke about because it's so overdone already. Like I have never once made a clinical correlation joke about radiologists because that's just the most overdone thing. That's clinical correlation required. Okay, that's not funny. That's just it's how many times have you heard that in the form of a joke and not laughed. And so
Yeah.
like there are certain things that even I like won't touch because it's just not funny and I'm sick of it, you know.
Yeah, doctors, we're not always the best comedians. I mean, I'm surprised we're not veterinarians with how many dead horses we beat.
It's just- I wanted to leave that one hanging there for a second.
I was proud of that. Okay, but that is a good segue into this next part. So I was listening to
that
one of
doesn't
your...
even make sense, Presta. Like veterinarians don't beat horses.
I don't know.
Anyway, continue on.
Yeah, it's a loose interpretation, really. So you mentioned this idea for a medical comedy residency program in one of your podcasts that I was listening to recently. And I really liked that idea. And I thought, what would it look like trying to match into a residency program? So Margaret and I took the liberty of trying to create that curriculum in a way. And so we have some jokes prepared for you. We are going to do weekend update style.
Oh, I love it.
Almost as like a segment or like a part of the in-house training that someone would have to go through in one of these medical comedy residencies. So in this way, you're kind of like our attending, and we're the med students on rounds presenting our jokes.
I love it. Let's do it.
I'm so scared for this.
Okay. So
Preston was like, we're doing this. And I'm like excited because I'm like, yeah, let's make bad art. That's my thing. But now I'm like, you guys are like, here's all the ways people are unfunny. And I'm like, God.
Here's all the ways I'm unfunny too.
I'm so cheesy.
I can't wait for this.
Okay. So
this better be good.
A new report came out recently that EM residency is officially being converted to 4 years long, going to take effect in June of 2027. Currently, 80% of EM programs are 3 years long, so there are going to be several classes grandfathered into a 4-year program during the midst of their training. While this is thought to be a problem for many of the ACGME officials to get the EM residents to sign their contracts, when they presented them to many EM residents, they just wrote no STEMI on the contract and returned to the rock wall in their their workroom.
Wait, you gotta wait. Are we doing feedback between each one, or are we? What do you
return to the rock wall and then the workroom? I like that you just kind of slipped that in there at the end. That was good. I like that. That was good. It's I would say you get a high pass on that one.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be great. Can I be pass fail?
Yes, you can.
But this isn't a pass fail med school.
You can be pass fail. There's no rules in Glaucomflecken residency program.
Academy.
Okay, should it be more like a fellowship, you think?
Yes.
I think fellowship makes more sense, right? So we do, but then what residencies do you do before you qualify for a fellowship? Probably any of them.
And we could get into what is the funniest specialty.
Anything except cardiothoracic surgery. I don't think they qualify. You have to have a certain level of humor to be able to even come into the fellowship program.
Yeah,
so anyway, all right, go ahead, Margaret.
All right. This week, the FDA has issued a recall on a specific Celsius energy drink popular in both fitness and night shift communities due to a mix-up in which some cans sold as Celsius were found to contain the vodka seltzer High Noon. One such mix-up led to an intoxicated night shift psychiatry resident who, after consuming 2 of the mislabeled energy drinks, wrote, as a consult note to the ED, patient vibe is bad, alert, oriented to the aura, seems like a chill dude though, let him go. When asked about the note, consulting ED doc said psychiatry finally got to the point.
I do like that one. These feel a lot like the old Gomer blog articles that we used to write back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Gomer blog?
I'm not familiar, so I'll have to read some of those.
I'm aging myself right now. So Gomer blog was like before like any of the like video comedy that you and I have done. Like there was Gomer blog, and it was started by a couple of anesthesiologists. It was basically the Onion for medical professionals.
Oh,
yeah.
We should bring that back.
It was. I mean,
or maybe not.
Well, it was like, I'm pretty sure some of the things I wrote for that website would have gotten me canceled. But anyway, so let's not bring that one in particular back. Maybe some iteration of it would be fine.
Okay. All right. And with that, the New York Times recently broke a story about close calls and skipped waiting lists with the organ donation process. After recent pressure from the Trump administration to increase the amount of organ donations, there was a case in Kentucky where a patient was able to return to health after after being brought to the OR and almost having his organs harvested on the table. Other close calls like this have happened across the country, raising questions about whether people have actually had their organs harvested when they could have returned to health. In response to this, the organ procurement organization said, "Oh my God, we're so sorry," and attributed the issue to a typo, saying, "We thought you meant," or "We didn't realize you said eyeball organ donations, not eyeball the organ donations."
Not sure about that one, Preston. I tell you what, that would actually go well with an ophthalmology crowd. I would say the bar's a little bit lower there for so that would have done really well.
I feel like that's like the Parks and Rec part where Ben Wyatt is working in accounting and he's like the funniest person ever.
Exactly. Oh, that's
killed.
That's a really good way to describe it.
Okay.
I'm really impressed, you guys. You guys are doing great.
With continued concern for medical treatments for mental health via the MAHA movement and finding root causes, RFK Jr.'s FDA ran a panel in the past week with reported experts to discuss concern about side effects of SSRIs in pregnant women. After the discussion, it is reported that the secretary was asked about his thoughts on other negative side effects of SSRIs on women, such as decreased orgasms, to which the secretary responded, "What's that?"
Classic. That's good.
A classic.
Very good.
Maybe cheesy. See,
Yeah, exactly.
overdone. Sorry, but a woman's got to make
you're
a joke
good.
every once in a while.
My interpretation, I thought it was, or my pitch for that one was, RFK was praised by critics for being the first Kennedy to care about the female orgasm.
Mm.
But I feel like
That'd
that
be
is
good.
not the vibe of JFK. Was like he was a
Yeah.
like. Never
Yeah,
mind. I
I
won't
guess
say
maybe
anything.
maybe it depends on the Kennedy. I don't know. But it's you got. I mean, it is July in your comedy, your medical comedy fellowship. So you got
Yeah,
you
that's
got lots
true.
of room for
We're July
improvement. But this
interns.
is a really good start.
Okay.
One more, Preston.
I actually have two more.
Great. Then
I
you'll and
threw
I
in an
have one
extra
more, so
one
you can end
while we were
us.
waiting. Okay. So the Los Angeles Times recently reported on the shrinking number of male OBGYN applicants, noting that there are now 80% females entering the field as of 2024. Though many people are not concerned about the shrinking number of male OBGYNs, and critics say that males shouldn't even be an OBGYN. Some people respond saying, you can be a perfectly functional surgeon even if you don't have the anatomy inside your body. Just take a look at Ben Carson and Dr. Oz.
Wait, what? I don't get.
So Ben Carson's a neurosurgeon,
Yeah.
and Dr.
Oh.
Oz is a thoracic surgeon.
Is
Look,
Dr. Oz?
Look, all I have to say is I don't know what SNL is doing with their time, but if they haven't contacted you guys yet,
Oh, thank you.
then I don't know what Lorne Michaels is doing over
This is
there
a
in
compliment
NBC.
sandwich right now. We're waiting for the middle. Okay, I have one
That's
more.
it. Go ahead. Yeah, one more.
This week, the administration announced wanting to launch a more non-biased medical journal with statements indicating distrust towards established journals such as JAMA, NEJM, The Lancet, which have been standard of care of research for well over 100 years. When inquiry was brought up about what other changes he felt would be necessary to medical journals, it was stated, needs more pictures, less big words, and then they had just scribbled a picture of a doctor underneath. That's an Epstein joke. That may not age well. All right, Preston, you go. That was my I think my worst one. But
Yeah, I should have saved the best for. I don't know. I actually don't know which one of these is the best though to save for then. All right.
I wrote these an hour ago also, so
The CDC recently reported that vaccines are at an all-time low, between measles, mumps, and polio now circling 92%, which is 3% below the federal recommended rate of 95%. And there is a new measles outbreak in the Panhandle. But the news is not all bad. McGraw-Hill recently announced the excitement about this, saying they can finally update their 50-year-old pictures of measles and first aid.
That just seems like a reasonable thing to do. I don't know.
No, actually, it probably is something that's happening right now.
I think that's
like real talk. People are probably actually taking pictures and like they're going to include them.
Yeah, it's like, but I think we're done with rounds now. I think you guys really, that was a good start. Good start. But now I am kind of rethinking whether or not this is a good idea in the first place.
Was that bad?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
We just didn't have enough Winter's formula, or
Yeah,
or
that
the
would have
voice of God.
killed.
No, you're good. I do. Let's see if I can get some funding. I recently heard that they're increasing funding for residency spots again, or at least there's a bill like they're talking about this.
Mhm.
And so maybe now's my chance to like really get this program off the ground. And so I just got to figure out like the rotation schedule for my comedy fellowship. Not sure.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I have a serious
There could
question.
be like a clown rotation, a physical comedy
Yeah.
rotation, stand up, writing,
absolutely. Improv, multimedia comedy, different media. You could
Impressions.
do a whole 6 months just on stereotypes. I know Preston would really like that. And just see where it goes. Anyway, yeah, what was it? You had something, Margaret?
Here's my question. I feel like the only type of comedy in healthcare that is encouraged and now kind of discouraged in the last couple of years is like dark humor, and that people think that doctors are very unhuman for a number of reasons. But part of that is like not letting the mask break or professionalism. So how would your fellowship seek to address make doctors funny again?
I mean, if you get out of my fellowship with your reputation intact, I think that's probably a great thing. It's you joke, but I bring up the issue of professionalism is like a big deal, right? That's prevented, I think, a lot of people from trying to be funny, trying to tell jokes online. And so back to Preston's point about, sometimes these stereotypes, can seem a little stale. I try not to discourage people too much from at least exploring. The comedy might not be good, it may not make you laugh, but I feel like we're in the grand scheme of like being doctors and like showing our sense of humor on social in such a public way.
Mm-hmm.
We're in like such the early stages of that, I feel like, just in terms of just how physicians have been presented in society to this date. And so it's like I think it's going to get better over time. It already has. Like even going back to the beginning of the pandemic, like when I started Glaucomflecken to now, there are so many more people that are like doing this stuff, right? And yeah, I don't like all of it. Some of it I really like. Like I loved what Preston was doing. That's why I reached out to him in the first place to try to do some more content. And because I like those voices, I think we need to amplify those voices that are doing it in a way that's funny. It's good. It's engaging. It's educational, but also is ethical and maintains a certain level of professionalism, which I think is a key distinction, right? Like you can't just blanket say all this stuff is unprofessional just because you're a doctor and you have a sense of humor. But that's what a lot of people over the years have done. And that's unfortunate because I think it just prevents people from showing their true nature.
And this is something you've taken a stance on in some degree. Like I saw you've created this project, or is this like a course that you can take to learn how to become a content creator as a physician?
Yeah, because over the years I've gotten so many questions about, because one thing I'm always doing is I'm encouraging people to get out on social media, and some of that's just to combat misinformation and just increase our advocacy footprint as physicians. But people have a lot of questions like, how do you even do it? Like, I'm scared. Like, I see people get canceled or lose their jobs or get bad, one wrong thing you say, and all of a sudden you have 1,000 negative Google reviews. And so that's why we made that course, which you can find it on our website, glaucomflecken.com. But we made this course just as a way to help people understand why you should do this and how to do it ethically, to maintain that level of professionalism that we have to as healthcare professionals, but without sacrificing your self-expression, right?
Mhm.
Your creativity, who you are as a person, because I think patients need to see that side of healthcare. And so, yeah, that's why we made this course. And as I think people are finding it, and it's gotten good feedback on it so far. And it's just kind of the start, like, that's what I love so much about, and I'm sure, Preston, you can speak to this too, about just exploring this social media landscape and trying different things. And some of them are going to work, some of them are not going to work. But there's so many avenues to put your creativity and expertise into now, as opposed to even 10, 15 years ago, that it's exciting to be able to just like do this little course thing and see if people like it.
Yeah. I think one of the greatest things we have is the freedom to fail, at least with grace, hopefully. I think a lot of people think you're going to get canceled the second you make some bad content, but really,
yeah.
My take is it's got to be pretty egregious.
Oh, it
If
does.
It's going to lead to you getting canceled, and people think that they'll like accidentally like slip up or do something, but yeah, you can just keep making stuff. And
none
if
of it's going to hit, right? It's not like I've had lots of videos that just flopped, and Preston, you've had so many more videos than me that have flopped, and it's so but it's okay. You just come right back with something different, and it just I there's some TikToks I've made that I'm quite embarrassed by. Not that I said anything wrong, but it's just not funny, and so but leaving them up for posterity's stake and
Margaret, when a video flops, it means it doesn't do well.
Oh.
I know that hasn't happened to you.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
But it's when it doesn't get very many views.
Listen, I have a paid newsletter, so you guys can take your 500,000 followers a second. So, I don't know what you guys want.
Like the Substack paywall.
Oh man, are you doing
Are
you doing the Substack thing?
Yeah, I'm in that health and rising, rising in health and wellness. Mostly because just me being pissed off about things in like the like lifestyle wellness girly world and being like, stop talking about cortisol base.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's bad.
So I've never had a video flop. So thank you for explaining that to me, though, Preston. That was really helpful.
No, Margaret's she's like Mike Tyson over there in the female wellness space.
Oh yeah,
like Pilates and
you're taking people down
and carb diets. Yeah,
a little bit.
That's good.
I feel like
that's awesome.
They're like, oh, how it's just I'm pro. I don't think you need to. There are people who do it and they really don't know. But when it gets to something where someone's like selling a product, it's like this is gross negligence, and I'm not just gonna let it be like she's a girl boss. Let her sell her adrenal fatigue supplement, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, I'm like,
good for
tired. I'm not gonna. Preston likes to get me worked up about this because I get so mad about it. But yeah, that is.
That's exactly what we need, though, right? Because these people, like, if we don't have people like you, Margaret, that are out there doing that, like holding these people, accountable for what the things they say, then it just goes unchecked. And like it or not, like everybody's getting their information from adrenal fatigue person on TikTok, right? So it's like, what are we gonna do? Just like let it go and let it happen, and we'll write a little paper to JAMA and be like, oh,
and it never gets out of there. It's just like, it's like no one's gonna read it. I'm sorry.
There's misinformation.
Adrenal fatigue. There's no
I am gonna make a meme video dunking on you.
Yeah, you're gonna
a million people.
You're gonna make fun of that person until they wish they had never made a TikTok account in the first place.
Well, I don't know about that.
Bully them. Bully them till they stop spreading misinformation.
You should kill them. I'm like, whoa.
No, I stopped short of death and destruction.
Of violence.
A little bit of destruction.
You're like, induce shame. Bring back shame.
I mean, like, come on.
Bring a little bit of it back.
It's just a different way of approaching these types of problems.
It's like the war on misinformation it's like in TikTok, Will and I we're on the Eastern Front and Margaret's on the Western Front, taking on the bloggers and the different mediums.
Like, the Navy.
Margaret, hold! She's like, I can't take it much more.
Well, I've even
They're using ChatGPT.
They are using ChatGPT. They are 100%.
Well, and then like I've kind of gotten to the point though, like over the past year where I have to like weigh, okay, this person who's saying this thing, which obviously is wrong. Like, for example, you shouldn't put erythromycin ointment in a newborn's eyes because erythromycin has stuff in it that is going to make your kid go blind. Like nonsense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I take that thing that this person who has 1,000 followers,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
do I address it to my million-person audience,
Right.
thereby like putting
Elevating.
that person out there, elevating them to a place where they've never been elevated to before? Like, how much good is that actually doing? And so I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is, honestly, because sometimes I just get so upset that I just have to say something, right? And I want to think that it helps, but I'm honestly not so sure. I don't know.
I
What
feel
do you
like that
think?
gets into some of and like we joke about your comedy fellowship but in terms of the resource and what you're talking about of doing this in an ethical way, that the
Yeah.
ethics of making content, like it can have a positive ethic in general and more people should be doing it. And the question you just said is a pretty nuanced. Like, are you true? Like, I could see someone oversimplifying, being like, you should battle misinformation and who care,
Mhm.
like not think about this part of how are you actually platforming them versus like if someone's talking to a specific audience of people with a specific diagnosis that isn't recognized in the healthcare system, is you dunking on them, even if you don't mean to, right? Going like, how will that
Right.
be read by different audiences and by the people who are the most impacted by that misinformation? Like, all of these go into like the ethical calculations of what we're doing. I think one of the things Preston and I talk a lot about is what both of us share here or write about separately or talk online in terms of being therapists or psychiatrists, where there's something I think a lot about is like, how safe do my patients feel around me if they see my public platform to talk about what they're feeling or thinking about issues in the world? I don't know
Mm.
if that is something you think about with your patients or if that's come up for you.
Um, it hasn't, but I do feel like it's maybe a little bit different being an ophthalmologist, right? Yeah. So,
Fair.
but so I think your point is very valid. Like, and I'll flip it around, and as someone who's very public on social media, who most physicians know who I am,
Mhm.
it has actually stopped me from seeking therapy a
Mm.
couple times because, like, it feels kind of strange to like, how do I find someone that doesn't already have like some notion of who I am as a person? And so and that's something I'm still like actively trying to figure out, because I mean, if you see my content, I probably need therapy. And so right, as probably most people do in the year 2025. Um, but and so, to turn it back to kind of where you're coming from, yeah, like, how do you present yourself in a way that won't color someone's impression of like what therapy is going to be like with you, and whether or not you're going to use your interaction with them as like content, or so all those things are definitely something that we're all grappling with and trying to figure out. And it's like stuff that I think should be in med school curriculum, should be, if not already, right? Because there's just going to be more and more people that are developing a social media platform, that are making content out there. Um, and so these are questions that med schools are going to have to try to figure out, residency programs, and going to be part of the curriculum is how to, um, what to say, what's okay to say, what's not okay to say. Um, do you try to create a framework of rules for yourself, which I do? I have like certain things I will not talk about. I will not say. I don't have patient characters in my content, because that's the easiest way to get yourself into trouble as a physician, is being people thinking that you're making fun of patients, right? And so that's why I do that, and that's just a ethical rule that I have for myself, and what's why I tell people to do as well with anybody I'm mentoring or talking to about building a social media presence, is like, you have to, as a healthcare professional, where people are coming to you and expecting you to have their lives in your hands,
Mhm.
not me, eyes, I'll say, but you have to set boundaries for yourself as a content creator, depending on the job that you have.
I think those boundaries have actually maybe been why I've been a little bit frustrated with like medical comedy, for me at least.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, like now I'm an outpatient, I'm doing therapy. The amount of inspiration ideas I have hasn't like changed, but like I've written some like good bits just for myself but the characters are like a therapist and a patient. And I know like I'm never gonna put that out there. So I'm like, I can't do
Yeah.
this. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, well, my original content was kind of like making fun of the toxic personalities within medicine, but I don't really work with toxic personalities anymore. Like I just kind of do my own thing.
Am I just not here?
Yeah. Yes. No, I have to go. Now I have to put on headphones and roast Margaret.
I think it depends on the medium. I really think that, because some things just require more nuance. They require more long form. Like that's probably something that you could work into a piece of writing a lot easier than you could a 90-second skit where, there's less nuance. It's just more like in your face. These are the jokes kind of thing. So, but I totally see what you're saying. Yeah, it's but I think that's how I think about it sometimes, because I'm with you. I come up with some ideas that's like, oh well, I think it's funny, but it's probably not good for a TikTok.
And it's easy to feel like self-defeated, where like I almost feel like a child sometimes, where like I think I have a really good idea and then I'm like, I can't post that, and then I'm like, I can't post anything. And I get like and then I'm never gonna post again. This is all stupid.
And then you make a video about it, talking about all the terrible,
and externalize it,
all the terrible stereotypes that Glaucomflecken comes up with.
Ukulele apology now. Now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it was so funny watching that. You guys, your listeners should go if they haven't already seen that TikTok you posted. But it's like as you were going, you were listing all these stereotypes. And I was like, I started at first listening to you. I was like, okay, the med student who is, presenting, and the angry surgeon. I was like, oh, this is all sounding pretty familiar. And then you got to nephrology and cardiology, arguing with each other. I was like, okay, he's clearly talking about me here.
Then you could see him scrolling through your page in his glasses.
That's right. Oh, that would have been a hilarious bit. Oh my God, Margaret, that's actually genius. Like that's what you. That's you should have done that. Yeah, that would have been really funny. Be wearing sunglasses and you just seem.
That's what I'm saying. I think a public beef between you guys would be great for everyone involved.
We should just start a fight.
I told Preston, I said, hey, Dr. Mike does boxing. You should. He has not responded to this text from me yet. And I go, what if you got into boxing as your next fitness thing? And then you guys have a YouTube, you versus Dr. Mike special.
In the octagon.
I don't know if I want to get into a boxing match with Preston. You seem pretty strong these days. So
yeah.
What are you compensating for?
I've got a lot
Preston?
of
we talked about that in the last episode.
Okay. All right. See, I'm trying to get the psychiatry vibes going here. Keep it on.
Well, we already
on
unpacked how I feel about my humor. Yeah, I think maybe it's like I feel trapped, but then like it's a glass prison in a lot of ways, and it's in my own mind. So
I'm taking notes. I don't know if you know.
So I'm trying to lift so I can like break out of it, but like it's ironic because no amount of bench pressing is gonna break out of these moral lines I've put for myself.
It's just psychiatry who wants to be an ortho bro so bad, but he's secretly drawn back to plants and coffee the entire time. And he looks down, he's wearing tweed at the gym.
I'll cut off the sleeves on my jacket so it's a sleeveless tweed corduroy.
Okay, we're going to take a really quick break, and then I think we want to talk about Glaucomflecken in general when we get back.
Yes, we will. Thank you for keeping us on time, Margaret.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
So before we get into Glaucomflecken in general, we're going to take about a minute and a half to do another aspect of the medical school or medical comedy residency curriculum. And this time we're going to tackle improv. So we're going to do one of the old improv games where we alternate words that we say and we try to form a coherent sentence. And in this case, Margaret and I are going to alternate every other word. And the prompt is going to be informing Will that he has a yeast infection.
Oh, good.
We're not going to include Will. I guess we can't. Yeah.
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 So like you're the fake patient in this scenario.
Doc, I need help. My I've got a rash. It's gooey. It's in my skin folds, which are words I think a patient would say if they had a yeast infection that I haven't ever seen. So go ahead.
We
Are
going
to
run
you
a
quick
new
exercise
Great.
don't
worry
this
will
only
permanently
feel
like
cottage
core.
Cottage
I
core,
feel like
okay.
you're
Permanently.
I'm not
Margaret, I feel like you're
yes-anding
just
you
like
enough.
derailing me.
I'm not. I'm having fun. Do you want to do every other
Only
sentence?
permanently feel like
Okay,
cottage
cottage.
core.
This
Okay.
will only permanently feel like cottage core. The
Important
step
to
curing
yeast
infections
is
to
remember never
stick
actual
foreskin.
what?
Oh, okay.
I don't like participating. Why do you always have to do this, Preston?
That's not how improv works, Margaret. You have to keep going.
Yes, and
Over
a
relatively
small
area
of
your
My yeast infection. I'll finish that up
Milk.
for you.
He's like, you're not. He's like, okay, that's a minute and a half.
Can I
and that's and
I think
we're
we
at a
should do
minute
more.
and a half.
Yeah.
That was tough.
can I ask you guys a follow-up question?
Yeah.
As the patient,
Mhm.
did you go to medical school?
We went to a school.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay.
And I think there was medicine around there.
See, also something we could work on. We're early in your fellowship training. I think
Mm-hmm.
we could definitely improv's a good thing to discuss.
Yeah, I think the next place I'm seeing this is like palliative care. Would be a good home for improv.
Absolutely. You want to be speaking off the cuff whenever you're talking to patients.
Don't worry about it. Just throw it out there. Just throw it away.
It's all about a
Just-
yes and mindset in palliative care.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's like stop knowing me right now.
That does kind of seem to maybe it would work in psychiatry though.
Okay.
Right?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
So I do know at the Mayo Clinic they were doing some improv class for their like preclinical students to help them like get into like OSCE type scenarios.
I have
'Cause I
heard.
mean, a lot of patient care is really like knowing how to respond on the fly to things.
Oh yeah. No, I think improv's actually would be a good thing.
One
Okay.
time I had a friend in med school when we had to do the breaking the hard news OSCE, and she accidentally said, we were telling a patient they had cancer, and she was like, she got so nervous that she said, cancer is a lot like the lottery. And unfortunately, you won. As a way of telling a patient.
Oh my god.
Bingo.
Holy shit.
And like our preceptor and the patient just broke and started laughing.
Oh well, when that kind of joke hits, then that's gold right there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We had one where someone in my class, they were doing this sexual history, and the OSCE patient was like, in a homosexual relationship. He was like, "Oh yeah, I live at home with my husband." And then there was a pause, and they were like, "So are you a top or a bottom?"
I don't know if that's
Jesus.
clinically relevant.
I mean, you could make an argument that it is. But
I
was
guess.
just curious,
I suppose.
Just want to learn more about your personality.
Oh my god! Wow. Maybe I should be
Okay.
taking notes on this for Glaucomflecken in general.
Yeah.
Something for the
So
whole.
speaking of, I saw the first 2 episodes are out, and it's your
Yes.
very own cartoon show.
All 3 are out now. Yes.
All 3. Okay. Wow.
And it turns out animation is very expensive, I've learned. So yeah, I've always thought of these characters that I've created as kind of, they're cartoonish in a lot of ways, right? Like the emergency doctor, like wearing all the gear, the bike gear, and so it's been something I've been thinking about doing for a while, and we finally did it. And we did 3 short episodes, and they're short mainly because it's all the money we had to put toward this project. We're self-financing it, which is not something that's commonly done, I think, for animation, just because it's turns out it's a lot of money. But it's been a lot of fun too. So just seeing the whole process, man, animation it seems very challenging, and we found an incredible group of animators that have done a wonderful, wonderful job. And so our idea is, we just released actually this morning the 3rd of 3, and people are really liking it. I think some people just don't like animation in general, but the overwhelming majority of people are just loving it. And so we're hoping to get to package, the response and some of the comments that we've had, and just pitch it to people with lots of money. So streaming services, I don't know,
Listen up.
the random billionaire that enjoys medical comedy. Who knows? I don't know. If you know any, please send them my way.
Okay.
And see if we can get some funding to
United
keep it
Healthcare
going.
new CEO. If you want to.
Right. Well,
You're like, well,
yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be an immediate no, but I don't know.
that's your sellout point.
Yeah, right. It might. I don't know. We'll see. But this is just one of those things we were talking about, like just taking swings, right? Like just trying different things. And this is one of those things. Like I have no idea if it's gonna pan out, if we're gonna be able to make more episodes. But it's been a really fun, creative journey. We're really proud of what we've made, and so if it doesn't go anywhere, then it's something I could show my grandkids someday, and we tried it. We put ourselves out there, and that's a part of doing content creation, right? You just gotta
it's
put it
creation.
out there. You're not gonna know what's gonna hit with people, what's not, and until you just do it. And so, but we're hopeful that we can keep going, because a lot of people have really enjoyed the animation so far.
So someone I knew once said that making bad art every day can be really good for your soul.
Did you
Thank
say
you.
that? Did Margaret say that?
That's my account name.
Oh.
Rip.
That's very insightful. That's very good.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm in the wellness girly space. So you don't see my content, but it's out there. It's teaching
You
about
definitely don't look
creativity.
like someone with adrenal fatigue. I'll tell you that.
Hey, my adrenal is
It's pumping
It's
away.
so- It's working
Yeah,
overtime.
it's working
Yeah.
amazingly.
Do adrenals even pump? I have no idea. Anyway.
I don't know.
So did you always picture like a cartoon or some kind of show when you were creating these characters?
No, I didn't. It was just, I think there's some psychology behind this. Like I'm hiding myself, my true self. I can hide that part of me. That's why I bristle when people call me an influencer, because I don't do that kind of content, right? I'm not showing you my life. I am making these characters. I'm wearing costumes. I'm writing skits.
You're not like flexing at the gym.
Yeah, I'm not
Who does
flexing
that?
at the gym. I'm not just like posing with my cats, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just not something that I do. And so I think
Sorry.
so yeah, and so I didn't start it thinking, oh, this will make a good animated show, so eventually. But it just, as my kids got older and they started watching cartoons, I was like, man, like, these characters are kind of cartoonish, right? It's not. It just lends itself very easily to that, and so that's kind of
Like how Voldemort hides his soul in those Horcruxes. That's what you do with your cartoon characters.
all
in a
my
way.
characters. Yes, I have 38 Horcruxes, and
Did Did you put
And
a
here I
Horcrux in
am,
Preston?
a husk of a man
Is that going to
sitting
be the
in
end of
front
our
of you.
podcast? Is like I have to kill Preston because he's secretly a part of
Harry Potter!
Known for a
Preston,
long time.
Preston is one of my Horcruxes.
He is.
Yes, you are.
What's a
Absolutely.
snake called Nagini?
Yeah.
You're my Nagini. Nagini Roche.
No, I was just saying, I think it's like part of this, like not just having physicians or having people in healthcare advocate more and fight misinformation, but like getting things out into the cultural like water that like it's like the pit being now also integrated with the actors' work in terms of different healthcare legislature. And I think like expanding beyond the TikTok platform, which you've had, and other social
Mhm.
media, which is huge, is creating these different ways people can encounter healthcare and not unevidence-based information, as well as understand more of how it works in a way that makes it fun and attractive, which
Yeah.
I don't think we've tried to do. We didn't try to do till in the last couple of years in healthcare. Now we're kind of
Mhm.
reaping some of the rewards of that.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it too, is like, with animation, I can reach people if I can get this stuff on a bigger platform than
Mhm.
my own, and see who it can resonate with, and slide in some of my anti, corporate medicine talking points into some episodes and just
Well,
get
the
it
episode's
out there to
opening is
more people.
produced by United Healthcare.
Well, yeah, that might be a conflict of interest, I guess, but
And
but
honestly,
yeah,
I think it could be more potent when you put it into a package like a cartoon, where people are more willing to accept it as satire or feel like they're drawing their own conclusions from it, rather than even though it's a cartoonish like caricature that you're making, it's still your face as a physician talking on the
Right.
screen. But when someone's like, "Oh, I was watching this cartoon and came to the conclusion that insurance is evil."
Right.
They certainly were trying to lead me to that. I surmised it as the astute
Exactly.
viewer,
I saw this episode of Ed, and Eddie, and suddenly I thought
Well,
abortion is
I know.
healthcare.
And see, the other thing is, as far as I know, like I am not aware of a medical cartoon like this. Like that's like based in a in the healthcare world, and so I do feel like it's kind of a first of its kind type of animated show.
Well, if you want a guest appearance, I have an idea for a character of a consult liaison psychiatrist. It'll be me and Margaret, but we're Siamese twins that
No.
are attached at the hip. We have two separate spines and brains and lungs. But
The people are clamoring for a consult liaison psychiatrist, especially
Siamese
one
twin.
who's a Siamese twin with absolutely.
And the bit could be that patients split on us, but we never know.
Wait, that
who's
is a good
getting
bit. Actually, I
one
approve
side
this.
of the
I now
split or
approve this
another.
message, Preston. I'll be like, just the character just has to like turn around and be like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll hide him."
that is not a bad
Preston's
bit
moving
right
to
there.
year 2, and he's now a PGY 2 in the
Yeah,
comedy
you're-
fellowship.
You're growing so quickly right before my eyes. Yeah, little
Little
Nagini.
So yeah, transference,
My little
countertransference, and then
Horcrux.
intertransference, like a huge triangle.
Oh man. But please, I know we're wrapping up here, but just Preston, please air any other grievances you have against my content on TikTok. I'm happy to entertain.
Well, Preston
your
projects a
thoughts.
father figure onto you, so
I-
that's part of what is happening.
My letterboxed review of Glaucomflecken in general will be coming out soon. Don't worry.
Oh man, can't wait to read it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to having both you and Lady Glaucomflecken back in the future. Sorry that she
Yes.
wasn't able to make it today.
I know,
But-
yeah. She wanted to
Preston
be here,
said
but
women
we'll do it
aren't
again.
funny, so they can't.
Yeah. Oh,
She's the only one who managed to
Mm.
slip through.
Don't, yeah. Don't that she would not have let that fly.
And to be fair, Preston fans, he did not say that.
I know.
We'll be a little bit farther along in our medical comedy fellowship by then. We'll have some
Yes.
some better jokes prepared for you.
Well,
No
thanks, guys.
Well, that was fun. I felt like it felt like our guest was kind of like our dad and our boss, and also our idol at the same time, a little bit.
I think yes, and I think that was okay. I'm going to say something sentimental, which is I think Glaucomflecken to you before you knew him was you to me, and so I'm like, you're like that was my dad, and I'm like, I didn't think you were my dad. I won't get into my projections, but I feel like that's how I felt the
Edible
first time we
complexes
talked.
aside.
Mom and dad complexes aside, but yeah, I mean, I remember you texting me last year and being like, Glaucomflecken reached out to me and wants to mentor me and all these things. And so it kind of feels full circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. It's like 3 generations. You're kind of like his grandkid in that way.
Are you saying you're my dad?
Well, I mean, I know you said that I'm not your dad, but I'm not your dad. Okay, you're not my dad.
You're the dad that stepped down.
Yeah, and okay, wait. It's called the Electra complex, right? That's the female version of the Oedipal complex.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, with that, let's get into the outro. Thank you guys so much for listening. It was fun for us to have Will Flanary on here. Please go check out Glaucomflecken General. He's got 3 episodes of his cartoon out. If you are in medicine thinking about creating content, go to drglaucomflecken.com and he has that wonderful guide. And like we said, it's important to have rules for yourself. It's not all blanket unprofessional like some people will lead you to believe. There are like a lot of good ways that you can advocate and fight the good fight out there. If you have any thoughts about like creating content or were curious about other things from this episode, please write us at How to Be Patient on our Instagram, or you can find us at howtobepatientpod.com. If you want to find more from me and Margaret, Margaret's at Bad Art Every Day on Instagram and TikTok. I'm at It's Presro, and there's also going to be full video versions of the podcast on my YouTube at It's Presro. Thanks again to everyone who leaves all the nice comments. We really appreciate them. And then sometimes we use them to pat our egos and we send screenshots of them to each other.
Sometimes we bully each
really
other with
means
the mean
a lot
ones.
for us. Yeah. You say something mean to Margaret, I'm like ammunition for later.
Remember that one comment on September 20th at 11:54 p.m.?
Yeah. Preston sounded nasally. Okay.
I did say that last episode. I'm sorry, that was me.
Yeah. Thanks again for listening. We're your hosts, Preston Roche and Margaret Duncan. Our executive producers are me, Preston Roche, Margaret Duncan, Will Flanary, Kristen Flanary, Aaron Carney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooke. Our editor and engineer is Jason Portizo. Our music is by Omer Benzvi. To learn more about our program disclaimer and ethics policy, submission verification and licensing terms, and our HIPAA release terms, go to howtobepatientpod.com or reach out to us at howtobepatient@human-content.com with any questions or concerns. How to Be Patient is a human content production.